Hey everybody, it's Joe Flash6.7 of Flash6.7 Productions here, and as you could probably tell, maybe by my tone of voice as well as maybe the look on my face, I ain't looking too good right now. I'm not sick or anything, but there's just something I feel like I just need to explain to you guys. For those of you that were probably expecting an update on episode 3 or something, sorry, still no further update on it. However, there is something relating to episode 3 that I need to get out of my way. Just right before I made this video, or at the timing when I'm making this video, I was talking with my best bud and my partner, Cullamy Stoke, and I'm starting to have the same problem. So, if you guys remember in the last video titled, I'm Sorry, Cullamy Stoke went on to make a video explaining about the situation on what went down with his computer when his little card was malfunctioning all of a sudden one time when he was doing some homework or whatever for college, and he lost most of the... Well, they did say he could get it back, but... He told me, he did say that, he could possibly get some footage back, but not all of it may recover, and this is the update. Long ago, he told me that, apparently, unfortunately, the money price for getting the footage back, even if it's not everything, would be costly, so, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to recover or want to attempt to recover even some footage of, like, what was left of his card for... possibly if there's still scenes of episode 3 left in the card, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna do what most of you were, well, maybe not most of you, but some of you guys requested in the comments over reshooting. However, I was about to get ready to do that at the time of this video that is made. I was about to get ready to do some reshooting here for some scenes that are missing in episode 3 from the final product, because we were almost done with episode 3. If you guys didn't hear, we almost were done. We were like 90% close to finishing episode 3. Well, more specifically, Color was, because he's the guy that makes all, he puts the episode together. But it was 90% done, and it was super close to being done. Like, it was nearly about to be on its way to being released real soon. Possibly this month, maybe next month, maybe last month. But sooner rather than later, before the end of 2025. And unfortunately, the disaster struck when that card situation went down. And we now have only a little bit of footage of episode 3 left, because if you guys haven't seen the video on YouTube, there is an unlisted video on our channel of the sneak peek of episode 3. And that's the only footage, mostly, that remains of it. I think Color did tell me there's some other footage still saved as well. I don't remember, but overall, that's the footage that we mostly have saved from episode 3, the sneak peek. And now we've lost pretty much half of it, or most of it, because of this card situation. And we were just going to simply listen to some of you guys and do some reshooting, where we were just going to ignore everything and just everything and all that. But here's the problem that started to surface me when I started coming up with an idea. So what happened was, I was texting Color, and I all of a sudden came up with an idea where he threw out an interesting, funny thing that could have happened, where something different could have happened in the script of episode 3 if we would have went in that direction instead of what's originally scripted. And that started making me come up with an idea for perhaps maybe we could rescript episode 3, and maybe some new scenes can be involved, like we reshoot it but reboot it, kind of like, we don't go in the original direction that episode 3 was going to be, and we do something different compared to the original, because the way I was thinking about how it should end, to me, I actually like the idea from where I was going with the new ending for episode 3 compared to how it was originally going to end. So I insisted on the idea to Color, but then I had to be reminded that, unfortunately, I forgot that if we were to do this, we would have to ask our cast members to redo some dialogue, like do some new dialogue for the series, like all of the voice cast. And that's the problem, because it would put them in stress. I don't know if it would put them in stress, but it would be a difficult situation for us, because we would have to ask them if they would like to do some new scripting or new dialogue for the script. And that's where things can go back and forth, where mostly I'm convinced they probably wouldn't want to, because it's no surprise that most of our cast members have been pretty busy these days. And there's one particular cast member in particular that I should point out that's been going through a lot recently these days. If you haven't been paying attention to our posts on the Flash6.7 Productions YouTube channel, we mentioned how Galaxy Ghost, or Ember as she's called, who does the voice of Applejack, has been having some problems of her own in life right now, in her personal life, and we wished her the best of luck, wishing her all the blessings and more, and hoping that she's still okay if she does see this video. And with her being one of the examples of someone that's going through personal stuff, even more than compared to what Color and I are going through, we're not sure if we should risk it, because like I said, that means if we decide we want to re-script the scene, the remaining scenes of episode 3 with new dialogue for not only us but for the characters, meaning for the cast members, that's going to be a difficult thing to ask. Having to ask them all if they can do some new dialogue. And another reason is the money-wise, because we paid all of the actors shortly after we got all of their dialogues for episode 3. And I don't know if that means we would have to repay them again, but probably will, because, you know, we're all going through stuff. And if you guys don't know or haven't been listening, I have been stuck here at home for the past year now because some complications happened at my job last year, and I haven't been working in over a year, and I've been trying real hard to find a new job here in where I live, but it hasn't been working out. Although I found a job recently that I'm interested in and I applied for it, they said they're not hiring, but they asked for more information from me through phone number, and I gave it to them. They haven't sent anything back from me yet, and I probably may try calling them or asking them if they're hiring maybe once every month, because I really want to get this job that I'm thinking of wanting to apply for. But if it doesn't work out, then I may just have to go for something else, so I don't know. I mean, my dad pushed hard for his job. He kept calling like once every month and was finally able to get his job, so I probably might try the same thing. If it just doesn't work, I'll go for something else. But the point of the matter is, we're all going through stuff, and you know, if we do have to pay the actors, if Color believes we do have to pay the actors for the new dialogue they send if they're able to, that's going to be a problem as well, because with the payment, we usually split it in half for Color and I. Like, we usually split our money payment in total in half so we can both have some money for ourselves. But every once in a while, we use the money to pay for the actors, and that would be a problem for us in a sense, because we're both kind of struggling with money. I mean, I still got a bit of money, but unfortunately, I don't use it a whole lot because I got to be super careful. And we do want to try to use our next payment because we have another YouTube payment that's coming up between August the 21st through 26th, and we're hoping that we could try to use this money to go to Sonic Expo. We don't know if we're going to go to Sonic Expo again. We went there last year. It was our first time going, and we want to try to go back this year, but there's two problems. One, Color's car situation because he has to get his car fixed, and then two, if we have enough money for the tickets. And we want to try to do some more other stuff, you know what I'm saying? And this would be a problem as well if we were to do this for rescripting, because possibly we may have to repay the actors for the new dialogue, and that could cost us an opportunity. Although if it does cost us an opportunity to go to Sonic Expo again, that's fine. Hopefully we can at least make it to HarmonyCon next year, but still, you know? It's just, you know, this is very difficult. Like, we could simply just do the simple reshooting of episode 3 where even some new changes, because here's the thing, some changes have been happening since the last time we filmed. We started filming for episode 3 back in December of 2023, and we were officially able to finish it last year in 2024. I did the final shooting for the scenes of episode 3 for the usual scenes that take place here at my house, and the scenes were all finished, and then he was officially able to start working on the whole episode properly, Color Me Stoke, after all the scenes were now filmed and put the dialogue in the correct order. But now that this is happening, changes have happened. In Christmas of last year of 2024, I got a new bed, if you guys haven't already figured that out, because we posted about it on the channel. I got a brand new bed. I got a new bed mattress and everything, thanks to two very good friends of mine that bought me a bed for Christmas last year. Meaning that my room has slightly changed. There's also new pictures in my wall. There's a new bed, because if you remember, I was originally sleeping on the floor. Like, if you need an example, you can look back at episode 1 and 2, where I didn't even have a bed. I was doing sleeping scenes on the floor because I didn't have a bed mattress. But since then, I got a bed mattress, and we were going to use that to the advantage for later episodes of Rule Meets Equestria Girls. And now that this is happening, where we need to reshoot episode 3, this is where things are not gonna make much sense, because we had some scenes here at home. I'll admit it. I know that's giving away spoilers, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it because that's how stressed out I am. But there was gonna be some more scenes shot here at home. I mean, we had it done for episode 3 if you saw the sneak peek, but now, since there was gonna be some more scenes shot at my house, now that I have a new bed, that's where it's going to be hard to do the reshooting, because now I have a new bed, and we can't just simply remove this bed. Although we could, but it's going to be hard trying to get the bed out of the way to shoot because it's a big bed, meaning we would have to take down the metal frame that holds the bed up off the ground, as well as remove the mattress itself, because it's a big mattress. And it would be extremely difficult to do all that, because it's going to be silly having to do that, you know what I mean? I mean, sometimes you can go to the extreme lengths to do this kind of stuff, but it won't be easy. And because of this new bed, it's going to be hard trying to reshoot here at home for the new scenes of episode 3 for reshooting, because now I have a new bed, and for the sake of the scripting, it won't make much sense where all of a sudden I have a new bed without there being a proper... I mean, not that it has to matter this much, because I know you guys probably won't care as long as episode 3 gets released, but for the sake of it, I kind of sort of care on wanting for the script to make sense on why all of a sudden I have a new bed in the series, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't simply just want to do reshooting for episode 3 and just ignore the fact that I have a new bed, and people are just going to be asking, why all of a sudden do I have a new bed compared to how it was at the beginning of episode 3? You know, where did it come from? That's where I want to change the dialogue in the script to make it make sense, is why all of a sudden I have a new bed. But now, or, you know, I was even going to save that for a later scene in episode... Like, this is where I was coming up with a new idea to where, in a later episode of Season 1, we can book an idea for how a new bed of mine is now in my room, you know what I'm saying? But that's where another problem lies, where I think it's a more difficult problem to where we would have to ask the cast to do some new dialogue for the series, like do some new audio scripting, you know, like give them the new script for the reshooting of episode 3, like meaning we would have to not only create new script for the Google document sheet of episode 3, but also ask the cast to do some dialogue, you know, some new dialogue as well. And that's going to be pretty difficult to compromise, because Color still has all of the dialogue for episode 3, and this would create difficulty, because then we would have to, you know, take out some old dialogue to favor some new ones, but that's where we wouldn't be sure if the cast would want to do it, and that's where it's a much more difficult and harder situation if we went in that direction. Because personally, I'm the one who came up with the idea. I asked Color if he thinks this is a good idea. I'm sure he likes the idea, but the difficult part is trying to ask the cast if they could do it. Because technically, I would have to be the one to ask, even though we could ask them together since we're both the script writers for the series, but mostly it's me, because I'm the one that came up with the idea for this series to come to place in the first place, and more, meaning I would have to be the one to have the responsibility and the bravery to ask the cast members, like in the Discord chat, or, you know, any kind of chat where we got most of the cast, but ask them if they would be okay with doing some new dialogue, because not every cast member we have is in all of the chats we have on social media, meaning we would have to do through cast calling as well. That's how some of them send the script for their send the dialogue for their character scripts, you know what I'm saying? But that's the more difficult part. Like, it's even harder than just simply reshooting everything and just ignoring, like, why all of a sudden, like, hey, why does Jonah have a new bed in episode 3 all of a sudden, when at the beginning he had no bed and now he's got a proper bed mattress, you know what I'm saying? Like, both sides are too difficult to choose from, and I want to really go with my new idea for how we can reshoot episode 3 and do some new script and do some new scenes for how all of a sudden things can make more proper sense, you know what I'm saying? But that's where the more difficult part lies, because that means having to ask the cast members if they can do some new dialogues. And most likely, in my opinion, they probably won't, because everybody's been real busy over the last year, ever since after episode 2 was released. And that's where things are going to be much more difficult, because I don't even know. And obviously, we're not going to replace these cast members, even though that could be the easy way to try to script the new episode 3. But of course, we're not going to replace the cast unless they have to drop out because they're getting too busy and stuff. Unless if they have personal stuff going on and they feel like they need to step away from the series, that's where that would come into play. But we don't want to replace any of these cast members, even though we did talk about in the past about having some fill-ins, like maybe we could have some extra people to fill in for cast if they're busy and need to take a break, or unless if they decide they want to drop out of the series altogether, you know what I'm saying? But as far as I can tell, no, I don't think any of them would want to, but I don't know. I don't personally know the cast that well, neither does Color, so we wouldn't know, you know what I'm saying? And it's stressing me out a bit over trying to make the decision here, because it's somewhat stressing me out, because I really wish we weren't in this position. Don't get me wrong, Color Me Stoke and I were both stressed. He was more stressed than me if you look back at the video titled I'm Sorry, where he had to explain everything about what happened. But now I'm starting to get stressed out about it, because now I'm starting to realize the problem that lies between the two different choices that we have over how to redo episode 3, you know what I'm saying? And it's stressing me out that I can't make the decision, because I want to do my idea, but that's the harder part. Or we should just stick to the original idea that Color was thinking and just do reshooting, but it wouldn't make sense for the script of the series. Like, why all of a sudden do I have a new bed, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm not sure if I want to do that either. It's like I can't make a choice, and this is almost where it's starting to stress me out, that my brain is starting to get out of control. It's starting to mix with emotions, and it's starting to stress me out and getting me frustrated, to where now I'm feeling like all of a sudden I'm regretting that I did this series. And no, I shouldn't even go that far. I don't regret doing this series. The series is the biggest dream of both me and Color's lives. Like, we love this, and we don't want to give up anytime soon, but that's how much it stresses me out. It's like when I get angry at video games, I say a bunch of negative stuff that I don't even mean to say sometimes, and I can't control myself, you know what I'm saying? This is where it's leading me to. Like, I'm getting kind of stressed right now just thinking about it, because now I don't know what decision to make, and it's all of a sudden like a part of me is starting to regret that I came up with the decision to make Real Will Meet Equestria Girls, because I didn't think that something was going to be this difficult when something like this would happen, that would all of a sudden just change the direction to where now we have to go back to somewhat of the drawing board to refix episode 3, to try to now have to set it for a new release date, most likely next year in 2026, when we were going to originally release it for the end of 2025, and it was going to be released pretty soon, but now it's going to be pushed back to a later release date, because now this situation with the card happened, and of course it's not Color's fault either. I can't blame my best friend. Of course I can. It wouldn't be fair. You know, it's not his fault. Things happen. But it's like, now that we know that this could happen again, at least we'll be smarter that the next time this happens, we'll make sure that we'll keep the scenes in Google Drive, so that way in case if we lose most of the footage at wherever app he makes the scenes from, we can have the scenes saved, so that we could just make things more easier to just, you know, make the puppets again and then just reuse the dialogue that we had before, you know what I'm saying? But this is difficult. Like, I kind of already feel like I want to quit almost. Like, this is how much it's stressing me out just thinking about trying to make the difficult choice on which way to go. And I didn't tell Color that I was going to make this video, so when he sees this, he's going to understand why I didn't want to tell him this stuff. I mean, he's my best friend, and I feel like I should tell him this stuff, but sometimes I get so lost that I just don't know what to tell him, and this is why I just feel like I need to open myself up not only to him on YouTube, but also to the rest of you guys, so you can understand what's going on. That now I'm getting stressed out like him, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really not fair. And of course, we have other things we want to do on the channel, so we don't have to put so much focus on episode 3, because we have other things we want to do on the channel, and we could just focus on that instead. But since we have nothing further that we're going to do on the channel by far yet, it's going to be a while before we might release any sort of content on YouTube, whether it's streams or reactions or just any other things that we had in mind that we wanted to do, because Color also created a website recently. He's also making a website for our channel. He's making a website so that way you guys can know all about us, and for the series that we're doing, not only Real Will Meet Equestria Girls, but other series we want to do, you know, for fun, outside of Real Will Meet Equestria Girls, and other stuff in relation that we want to do that's fun. Like, we made a post about it as well. But now, you know, with episode 3 being the main focus, because a lot of, I mean, you guys have been begging for episode 3 for almost a year and a half. Ever since after we released episode 2 last year, at the beginning of summer, you guys have been begging for episode 3 ever since. And we were hopeful that we would release it last year, but that didn't happen. Like, before the end of 2024, that didn't happen. And then we were hopeful that we would get it this year, before the end of 2026, before Grand Theft Auto 6. But now that this situation has happened, this problem that just now canceled everything, now we have to push it back, and we may not get it released before Grand Theft Auto 6. Our promise just now may have got, you know, punished, you know what I'm saying? Well, maybe not punished, but you know what I'm saying? That now we can't keep our promise because this out of nowhere problem just occurred, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know what to do anymore. Like, I'm losing focus. Like, I'm honestly almost feeling like I'm wanting to drop out of being the scriptwriter for the series, because it's like I feel like, you know, I have so much negative stuff going in my head right now, over stressing about this, that I feel like maybe I should just quit being the scriptwriter and just drop out of the series, or just give up altogether. Even though Color would obviously disagree if I do that, but that's how stressful I am. Like, I can't think positive right now. It's like I'm really regretting that I did this series, because I would have not realized that something that I didn't stress about at first when Color made the announcement that this card situation happened that stressed him out. Now I'm starting to get stressed out about realizing what's going on and how this is becoming a problem that now I'm starting to regret it, and I feel like I just want to quit. And I don't know what to do anymore. I mean, yeah, we could probably ask for help, but no, we don't need help, even though I know some people before have volunteered to help us out with maybe becoming additional scriptwriters, but we do already have an additional scriptwriter, Ada. She's the additional scriptwriter for episode 1 and 2, as we credit her at the end of the episodes, and I don't know if she would have been the additional scriptwriter for episode 3, but likely she would have. But we haven't even contacted her or talked to her in a long time, and we don't even know what she's up to now, and I don't know if she would have been additionally script writing. I mean, we already had episode 3 almost finished, so we didn't probably. Or even if we did, it was already ruled out, you know what I'm saying? But now this is coming in the way, and plus that would technically mean having to contact her as well, so that way, because that means if we decide to rescript episode 3, we would have to contact her to take a look at it to see if she thinks that the new ideas for the rescripting of episode 3 is a good idea, or if we should make changes, because that's why we have her as an additional scriptwriter, to keep the characters in Equestria Girls true to their original selves, like realistically how they would react or respond to situations, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to make them as realistic as possible. Like, it's our imagination, like this is Color and I's imagination and way of seeing what would happen if we were to have the Equestria Girls coming into our lives. It's a fan-made series, but it's like our own version of a story that's fanfic, but also, like, what do we think we would do if the Equestria Girls were to exist, you know what I'm saying? Or what would be the fun nature surrounding what we could possibly do, even though I feel like maybe we won't be able to do exactly what we may script the series for, but you know what I'm saying? But now, because of the situation, it's stressing me out, and I don't know what to do anymore, and I just don't feel like I have much left to do. And obviously, I'm going to send this video to Color, and obviously, I'm going to send this to the cast members, and I hope that all of the cast members sees this, not to try to condone me or anything like that, but just to see how much, you know, this is really not only stressing me and Color out, but it's stressing, just stressing me somewhat mentally and physically. I mean, I shouldn't be letting it get to me that hard, but that's how hard it's hitting me, because I don't know what to do anymore, because I want to do the idea that I came up with scripting, but then it's going to be harder for the fact that we would have to ask the cast members to do some new dialogue, but would they really want to do it? Especially Ember, who's already going through a lot more personal stuff than both Color and I have, or other people as well? Or should we just simply do what we originally were going to take advantage of, and that was do reshooting like some of you guys told us, but simply just ignore the fact that I got a new bed in my room, and, it's not going to make sense that we don't explain why all of a sudden I have a new bed, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what to do anymore. I don't. I really, really don't. Because even if I tried to switch it to a new place, but yet keep the same dialogue that we had for the ending of episode 3, it wouldn't make sense, that even we would have to add some new dialogue for that as well, like if we were to take place in a new room, like take place outside of my room in someplace else, you know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be done only in this room if we would reshoot, so we can keep the original dialogue the same. But if we want to do some reshooting, we would do a new location and ask for the cast to do some new dialogue, as well as go in a different direction to how episode 3 ends. And as well as come up with a description for how we can book why all of a sudden, or how I get a new bed in my room, you know what I'm saying? For the sake of the series lore, you know what I mean? But this is too difficult, and I don't even feel like I got it anymore, honestly, guys. Like, this is how much it's stressing me, and I'm really going through a lot. I'm now living in Color's shadow, where he was stressful when he had to make the video talking about what was going on, and now I'm following in the same path, so I don't know what to do anymore, guys. Like, I kind of feel like I'm done. But I can't give up either, because this is a big dream that I'm risking on wanting to give up. I mean, I'm pretty sure I don't really want to, but that's how negative of an effect this is putting me in, because I can't make the decision on which one I want to do, because both sides are too difficult to make the decision on, because one side won't make sense, and then the other part is going to put probably might put stress and depression on the cast, because they may not want to do new dialogue for the series, and possibly it would mean maybe we might have to send them new money, like pay them extra for new dialogue, and then cancel us on getting some money for ourselves, so we can try to save some money for ourselves to do things like stuff that we need, as well as what we want to do, like trying to go to Sonic Expo next month, when we don't even know if we'll go yet, because first Color needs to get his car fixed to see if he can drive, and then if he does, we want to try to save some money for a ticket to buy to go, but we don't still know of any of that stuff, and this is the difficult situation that it's coming to. So I don't know what to do, guys. I know I didn't really have to address all this on YouTube, but I had to because I had to let it out, and I didn't want to just tell it to just my best friend Color Me Stone, KK Alex, because this is becoming too hard-headed of me now. Like, it really started hitting with me once Color had to remind me that we would have had to ask the cast to send new dialogue if I went in the new idea. So this is really difficult, guys. I don't know what to do. You guys could probably let me know in the comments down below if you think we should just simply do the original idea of just reshooting and just ignore the bed. But that's the problem, because some die-hard viewers, like those that are really paying attention to scripting and how things would make sense for this to happen, you know what I'm saying? Since in episode 1 there was some criticism from a person that talked about, you know, like Pinkie Pie not reacting, like, you know, when I said everybody's name in episode 1 and they all looked shocked. One person was arguing that, no, Pinkie Pie would have just had a smiley face, which we agreed on afterwards, but it was already too late, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not trying to go with what the fans want. I mean, we kind of do, but at the same time, we want to create it as realistic as possible. And, you know, as I said, if we simply just do the reshooting, it's not going to make sense where all of a sudden I have a bed in my room, you know what I mean? Like, where did it come from? And then people, especially some certain viewers that focus on, like, the sense on, like, what makes sense and stuff, they're going to be asking, why do I have the bed all of a sudden, you know what I mean? And then, you know, that's why I want to do some rescripting to make it sense, but then that would be the stressful part, having to ask the cast if they could send some new dialogue in, and possibly they may not be able to. Even if they say yes, they may not even be able to send it right away, which they won't be able to send it right away, because first we would have to film new scenes first. Well, I mean, they could send it even without doing some new scenes, but, you know, all that matters is that they may not want to do it because they're busy right now and may not have the time to focus, and it might stress them out for them to try to find a certain time of a day to send some new script, like some new dialogue, you know, if we rescript episode 3. And that's why I haven't rescripted it yet, because I don't know, you know what I mean? And if I go ahead and change it now, I might forget the original dialogue for episode 3, and then everything's gonna get all messed up, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know what to do, guys. Like, I'm kind of just, like, out of it right now, so let me know in the comments down below which way do you think we should go. I don't know if we'll, I don't know. It really ultimately depends on what Color and I want to do, and maybe we'll see if the cast, I don't know if we'll ask the cast to or not. I don't know. I mean, we'll probably try to talk to them. I could ask Color, maybe if we should ask every member of the cast on what we should do, on if they should care if we do reshooting or not, or if they'd be okay with maybe sending new dialogue. I don't know. I'm the one who's like the leader of this whole thing, and I'm the one getting stressed out now, so I don't know what to do, guys, so I'm sorry. Let us know in the comments down below what you think we should do. And I think I've had enough explaining everything. I'm done. I'm just out of it. I have nothing left to say, so I'm just going to go ahead and just end this video off. I've already explained enough. So, I don't know when we'll make another video for the channel. Hopefully, I'll be in a much better mood the next time another video comes out. Likely I will, but we'll see. So, just let us know in the comments down below. I'm going to go ahead and end this video off, and I'm going to send this to my best friend Color, Alex. Maybe even send this to the rest of the cast members as well. And I'm just going to go ahead and just end it off, guys, so I'm sorry. I hope you guys take care. Hopefully, we'll see you next time whenever a new video is up on Flash6.7 Productions. Very soon, I don't know when. But until then, I'm out, you guys. Prayers to me, prayers to Color, you know, whatever we decide to choose. We appreciate all the support and stuff, and I hope you guys support with whatever decision we make. Maybe we'll make an update video letting you guys know what decision we made on what we'll do with episode 3, if we'll do reshooting or do some new scripting, you know what I'm saying? I mean, because we have to reshoot, we have to do some reshooting regardless, but you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end it off because I'm done talking about it. So I'll see you guys next time, or maybe Color and I will see you guys next time, I don't know, but I'm out of here, y'all. Take care. May God bless y'all, and this is Joe Flash of Flash6.7 Productions signing off. See y'all later. Take care.